everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I am doing a tour of my chocolate factory. I am so glad to finally be posting this because I actually built this back in September and I just never posted it because Halloween was coming up, so I had to make a Halloween build. Then it was Thanksgiving, so I had to make a Friendsgiving plot, and then it was Christmas, so obviously I had to make the ski lodge. I guess I've been kind of teasing this build for a while because around September I was saying, hey, I'm building something that is related to a movie, and I just never told you guys what the build was until now. So here we are, and I'm going to be going through every single room in the build. So let me turn around. Here is the entrance. I'm gonna back up. I am really proud of this entrance. It is actually inspired by the Chocolate Emporium from Universal Studios, I believe in Orlando. So something I do want to say before I start the tour is that you are not going to understand this build unless you watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the 1971 version, not the Tim Burton version. It is actually on Netflix, which is perfect timing, so I actually recommend watching the movie before watching this video. So you might be looking up at the sign above me that says Robuilds and the Chocolate Factory, and that's because I wanted to put my name instead of Willy Wonka. So you'll see little hints around the plot that relate it to me instead. So Willy Wonka obviously has W's, and I have R's. So I actually hid an R in the hedge. You'll also see a couple more things. There's not too many, but you will see them. Now, another interesting thing about the movie is that everything was obviously a set. These rooms were actually not connected, so I had to figure out a way to connect every single room in the movie into one build to make sure that I could go through doors and it stayed in order, and I was able to do that and fit it all in one plot. So it doesn't look obviously exactly like the movie, but the build is definitely inspired by it. So this build took me about 2.5 months, I think, to build, which I think is the longest I've ever taken on a build. My outfit is supposed to be Willy Wonka based. I could not find a hat that looked good, and I also could not find a long sleeve purple top in this shade, so I have a tank top. So it's not the most fantastic outfit, but it's the best I could do. Okay, so to start the tour, this is a chocolate fountain. It's hard to see, but it is brown water instead of blue water. So we have the entrance here, and then you go through a rotating door. You can let it push you, which is pretty cool. Also, a lot of stuff in here is actually custom, which you'll see in the rooms. So when you first come in is going to be the entrance from the movie. So we have the quills from the movie, and then we have the famous sign, which is very hard to read all the way at the bottom that you have to sign. And in the movie, it starts with a big W, and here we are with an R. And then here is just like the lobby, because obviously when I host my event, everyone's going to be gathering and then probably changing outfits, so I do have some dressers, and then I will start the tour. But I wanted spots for people to be able to sit around and just check out before I actually start the tour. And then I also have some mood stations over here for you guys. So I had to put those in places in the build as well throughout the tour, so you'll see those. It's not a Robuilds plot without mood stations. Those doors over there you will see later. And then another chocolate fountain. Up here is just more seating, and there's more seating over there as well. Okay, let's start. So like I said, this is the entrance, and then you can go through here. And this I believe is like the tunnel room. I'm not really sure what it's called, but it has a bunch of doors. These doors lead to nowhere because they're actually decals. So we're gonna go through here. This is not part of the movie, but this is how we get to the chocolate room, which is the most popular room. This is where Gene Wilder sings the Pure Imagination song, and here we are. This is the chocolate room. So the layout is obviously very different from the movie, and this room was really hard to create, but I just tried to fit a lot of candies in there. I was able to quickly put in the lollipops from the winter update. The build was actually done before that, but I had fake lollipops and then the real ones came out, and I quickly did those. I also have the famous bush where you have the teacup that's edible, and it's supposed to look like the daffodil flowers, but it's actually a teacup. I have the gummy bear tree. Oh yes, there are umbrellas. If you know from the movie, Gene Wilder stabs his cane into a mushroom and uses it as an umbrella. So if you open the umbrellas, they do look like mushrooms because they have polka dots on them. So that's cute if you do want a picture for that. Then we have the famous boat with an R instead of a W. Some more candy over here. I wish this build was interactive, but it's not. It's more of a visual, but there's a lot of spots to get really cool pictures. So that's what it looks like over there. And then right here is the Oompa Loompa area. So we have that where they can come out. I actually have rooms that they can can walk out of, like if I wanted my friends to do something. Oh look, that's a fake lollipop. I guess I forgot one. But you can go in here, and I don't know why there's stairs right there, but you can go up here and then you can come out this door and be an Oompa Loompa, or there's one over here. So I thought that was kind of cool, another fake lollipop. So that was just like a little extra. I doubt it's really going to be used, but just in case it is there, because you have to include the Oompa Loompas a little bit at least. So this is the chocolate river, and then you take the boat, which you can actually sit in. This is Willy Wonka's spot right here. So you can sit there, and then you can also sit in the chairs if you're one of the guests. And then we take the boat, pretend to take the boat, through the fear tunnel, which I chose to put lights instead because the fear tunnel is actually supposed to show your worst fear, which is kind of interesting for a chocolate factory, but it's part of the movie. And then of course the boat stops and it goes to the inventing room. So we have dairy cream, whipped cream, coffee cream, vanilla cream, and hair cream. And then it says, danger, keep out, notice, only authorized Oompa Loompas admitted. And this is the inventing room. It is very cluttered and it looks very, very similar to the one in the movie. This is where Willy Wonka experiments with new candies and is full of untested prototype products. The everlasting gobstopper is also in this room. I have the machine that creates those because that is a very important part of the movie. And if you've seen the movie, you do know. And then I have the everlasting gobstoppers right there. Obviously can't make them the actual shape. We have like some stirring areas. We have chemistry lab type thing over here. We've got an oven. We have things with steam coming out of them. This pink thing is something an Oompa Loompa steps on in the movie. And then right here is the part where he's making like that special gum that has like the 4-course meal or something. And then one of the characters turns into a blueberry. And then if you leave this room, we're going to go to the Lickable wallpaper room. So I do have that all over the walls. And then we have a mood station because by then a lot of moods are going to be down. So this is a very simple room. It's not supposed to be anything special because it's just like a transition area for the movie. And then over here, the next room is the Fizzy lifting drink room, which was very, very fun to build because I had to add bubbles everywhere. This area up here though is the supposedly fan. I just had to make it really big. But then all of these little rods had to be placed, which was a pain in the butt, but I did it. And then on the floor, you can notice that there are circles. Now, what could that be? They are trampolines because in the movie, Charlie and his grandpa do drink the soda when they're not supposed to, but it makes them float and go up to the fan. We obviously cannot float, but we can jump on the trampolines to make it look like we are floating in the bubbles. And then we have the egg room. Now in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, it is the nut room, but in this movie, it's obviously the egg room. This is where we have geese that lay golden eggs. My geese, they are very cursed, like very cursed, very cursed, but they are so cursed that I chose to keep them. So those are the geese. And then we have all of the boxes and presents around here. We have the spot where they shine them and they wrap them. And then we also have the machines that say if they're a good or bad egg. We have 3 rooms left. The next one is the Wonkamobile. Obviously we can't drive it, but it is here and it does have all of the foam on the ground. This one is a little interactive though. I do have some seats on here because the characters do ride it. So I have one here that has the bubbles coming out. And then there's one here, which I believe is where Charlie and his grandpa are. So you can sit here. And then of course we have the one that Willy Wonka sits in where he drives it. So we have that one here. This one's very fun. I was really happy with playing with bubbles in this build. I got to use them a lot and I think this is the first time I actually was able to use the bubbles. And then I also used vines to make it look like the cream was falling out of the machine. It's the best I could do. The next room is the Wonkavision studio. This one is completely white, and if you look at the giant chocolate bar that they transfer over here, which goes right here, it says Robuilds bar instead of Wonka bar. I need to fix the placing a little bit. I guess it moved, but it is a giant chocolate bar, which is really cool. The pixels are really neat to look at too. It's just an overall really fun room. And last but not least, we have Wonka's office. Now this office is gonna look very weird. That's because things are supposed to be cut in half, but we also don't have everything from that movie in this game. So I did have to be a little creative and and place some random objects. So there is a sandcastle in the middle. And then I do have a half bookshelf, a half table, I have a half chair, a half towel rack, I guess, and then a sink. The sink I obviously could not make half. And then I have a half safe, and the half picture frames turned out really, really cool. Half desk and some more half chairs. And then we have more mood stations just in case. And one of the most important parts about the movie is when, this is a spoiler, just letting you know in advance, Charlie gets the chocolate factory. And this is when Willy Wonka takes them into an elevator that is golden, and it like flies out of the glass roof, and then he sees like the whole town, and that's when Willy Wonka tells him that he wins it. But we only go to floor 2. we don't crash through a ceiling or anything or fly around the map. This is all we get. We get an elevator. But it's still cool because if you do watch the movie, then you obviously know what these elevators are for. And then if you take these doors, you can look around here, follow the path, you'll go down here into just this random room, just kind of another filler room. And then you walk through here and you are back at the main lobby. Okay, so now I'm going to show the layout because the layout is crazy. Here is the layout itself. So just like in the sketch, we have the main room, then we go through here and we make a pathway, we go down into the main room, and then you go here into the inventing room, the lick wall, the fizzy lifting drink room, the egg room, the Wonkamobile, Wonkavision, and then his office, and then you take the path back. I had to make it a big loop for the tour like I said at the beginning. So that's the first layer of the build. Here is the second, third, the fourth, and the fifth. So it is very intricate, but it turned out really, really cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tour, and I hope you guys enjoyed the build. Maybe it was worth the wait, I don't know. I guess I'll have to wait and see your reactions for it. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have not yet subscribed, make sure you do, and I will see you guys in my next video.